Welcome back to Celebrate Michigan. We are talking with author Mary Minock about her memoir, The Wayback Room.
Mary, I want to go back to your mom, and can you just tell us a little bit about how did she inspire you, and what were some of the life lessons that you took away from her as you grew up?
Well, my mother was a child, and she, in some ways, she was not very parental. But she was a poet in her way, and she loved language. She knew a lot of language. She had a remarkable sense of humor, and she had a difficult time. She was very eccentric, and maybe all parents are eccentric when you really get down to it. But
what do you mean a child? Did she have you at a young age? Or?
Well, no. She was older when I was born, but she was not very parental. And I guess what I should mention is that back in those days, in that neighborhood, you know, a very working class neighborhood, most of the parents were extremely parental. Mm-hmm. They were very authoritarian. They were very certain. You know, and if they told their I'm talking about students, I guess. Oh my gosh, and you know what I do for a living. But if they told their kids to do something, it had to be done. And my mother was not like that at all. And it's kind of interesting because she was very, quote, permissive, but she also couldn't make decisions. So I ended up, you know, making a lot of the decisions. I suppose I had to be more of an adult than I might have been had she been, you know, different. But it's all in contrast, too. When I think of her parenting style compared to the other people in the neighborhood, she probably made me smarter because she encouraged me to think. I had to think. Mm-hmm. And she probably, people would look at the way she operated right now and say, oh, that's very encouraging. But back then,
so you took it as a positive and embraced it, and
well, I certainly ultimately took it as a positive and embraced it, and you know, of course, she was very consistent too, which is good. I mean, she wasn't going to suddenly change, and so I had to learn, you know, how to compensate, and you know, it probably made me mature pretty fast, but also it was good in a lot of respects.
All right, we have a few more pictures from your book that I'd like to show right now, and you can tell us about those.
This is Holy Redeemer Church.
Oh, what did that mean to you growing up?
Oh, it was everything. It's a huge church. It looks like this, very much like this today. The parish is still very big. It was, some people say that it was the largest parish in North America at one point. I wasn't able to verify when exactly that was. I think probably in the late 40s. Okay. But this is the church, and this is a postcard. I was very lucky. I got this from the Sister Servants of the Immaculate Heart of Mary archives. They generously provided me all the pictures I have of Redeemer. Okay. Oh my. This is one of several Easter pictures, and you've chosen the one that I wasn't going to include because they go from being quite, you know, being quite cute to being very adolescent. But I included the Easter pictures because a lot of people took pictures only on Easter Sunday. Mm-hmm. You know, it was not easy to take pictures, and you had to go through a lot of pain to get them developed, and the camera would come out on Easter when we had all new clothes.
Oh, yeah.
All new clothes.
All right.
This is my picture that was taken at graduation.
That's so pretty.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, it was a typical picture in that, you know, my head was turned, you know, in a position that wasn't even comfortable. But the picture has grown on me, and my editor loved it, so we put it on the cover of the book.
Now, what was it like growing up in Detroit in the 50s and 60s?
Well,
I guess especially your neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind to say is that it was wonderful, and it was wonderful. But we all say that. But the city offered so many opportunities, and it still does in its way, in its kind of lackluster way. But for a child, and especially when we felt pretty safe, we could experience all sorts of things that I don't think children today can experience. But the buses ran everywhere. The library still functions. The library was there. Lots of things that made it a great city. Lots going on all the time.
And you still live in Detroit now. You know, there's a lot of people who are moving out of the city, and you have remained in the city. Now tell us why.
Well, I did move away like a normal person. I mean, like I moved away when I grew up, and I lived in, you know, in Ann Arbor and East Lansing in New York City. But I came back, and I'm so glad I came back. And I probably wouldn't have come back if the house hadn't been there, and if Clark Park hadn't been there, and my particular neighborhood is still flourishing. And I think that being there gives me a continuity, and I also root for Detroit. You know, we're going through a lot of hard times, but there are people who are coming back. So you know,
You're not alone.
Yeah, I'm not alone.
Well, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to talk more with author Mary Minock.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.